This is Fox News.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. In a special election on Tuesday, the city of Lehigh elected former Mayor Paula Martin to the position of mayor in the Webster County town. Martin earned the most votes with 24 in an election with only write-in candidates. Former Mayor Phil Richardson resigned on January 1st, and Martin will serve the remainder of the term that expires in 2021. May is Mental Health Month, and one Fort Dodge man is spreading awareness of mental health in Webster County. Randy Hoover works for Freedom Point in Fort Dodge, a community support program that focuses on mental health issues. Hoover says that mental health awareness is extremely important in Webster County.
We have a lot of services, but we have way more people than we have services. And we do peer support services, which means we're right there in the front. We see these people as their lives are kind of falling apart. And we can help direct them to like Berry Hill Community Health, other therapists in town to get the help they need.
Freedom Point is passing out Mental Health Month ribbons all May. You can find them at LifeWorks at 13018 8th Street in Fort Dodge. Ribbons can also be found at the Berry Hill Center and Community Health in Fort Dodge. Governor Kim Reynolds isn't giving any indication on what she will do with several high-profile bills that passed the recent legislative session. She does say there's been a lot of input on whether to sign or veto the sports gambling bill.
I'm hearing on both sides. I've had a lot of people reach out.
The bill approved by lawmakers would let the state's casinos take bets on professional and college sports, either at the casinos or elsewhere via smartphone app. Reynolds says many people don't want to see or sign the bill into law.
They're concerned about, addiction to gambling and that the impact that this may have.
Others say the state needs to take control.
I've had a lot of other people that have indicated it is happening. It is going to continue to happen. And they think it's very important that we have some kind of oversight.
Reynolds says both sides have made their feelings known.
It's pretty equal right now, but I'm hearing a lot from both.
The governor says she is treating the gambling bill like all the others and will go over it with her team and make a decision on whether to sign into law. A special drive-in tour route through the Union Slough National Wildlife Refuge in northern Iowa will open this Saturday and end at sundown on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 12th. Ed Mundian, the refuge manager, says the tour route will open from sunrise to sunset.
Recommend people bring a pair of binoculars or maybe a bird book. We have had a couple of sandhill cranes on the refuge here for about 2 weeks. A little bit unusual. Haven't confirmed that they're nesting, but we hope that they will on the refuge at some point in time.
Mundian says water levels are pretty high at the refuge due to the wet weather this spring and past winter. That means animal life rather than vegetation is the main draw.
We've been doing some prescribed burning. There's some areas that are starting to green up from that. Not a lot of other stuff coming up at this time, but people should see deer, pheasants, ducks, geese, trumpeter swans along the tour route.
The drive-in tour route is only open a couple of weeks each year. It starts at the refuge headquarters and takes visitors by wetlands, open water, and prairie habitat. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. We'll see cloudy skies this afternoon, a high into the mid-50s. Northeast winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, a slight chance for rain showers, cloudy, a low near 44. By Thursday, mostly sunny skies, a high of 62 degrees. Friday, partial sunshine, a high of 64. Saturday, mostly sunny sky conditions, a high around 71 degrees. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 48.
At Menards, nobody beats our prices, so you can save big money on window coverings. Keep your room dark when you want with 23 by 48 cordless room darkening 1-inch vinyl blinds, just $9.99 each. Or get 24 by 48 cordless 2.5-inch white faux wood blinds for $24.99. And they can be trimmed to width for free at the store. Plus, a Menards gift card is perfect for Mother's Day. Stop in and save big money through May 5th during the Menards Spring Catalog Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Message and data rates may apply. Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that furthered your career and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors, all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? To find out more, text DRIVE to 79645. That's DRIVE to 79645. Start your online MBA, information management, or business analytics master's program from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the W.P. Carey Business Graduate Programs online. Text DRIVE to 79645. That's DRIVE to 79645.
Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services.
Oh, why not just cremate me when I'm gone?
Sounds simple, doesn't it? However, there are many options to consider when cremation is chosen. From simple to detailed, we at Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you create a unique commemoration.
Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services.
With the stock market at all-time highs, cash in your profits now and invest in an asset that can potentially pay for up to 20 or more years. That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you're an SEC-defined accredited investor, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's projects. Call now to learn how you can potentially achieve 20 or more years of income and deduct 100% of every dollar invested against all forms of income. Call 1-800-803-8511. Invest in your future and buy oil. Encore is drilling in an area that is potentially one of the most prolific horizontal oil plays in the entire country. Oil prices are projected to rise, so you need to own a piece of an oil field. Encore Energy is the most active oil and gas operator in its core area of operations. Call now and learn how to deduct 100% of your investment and create 20 or more years of potential monthly income. Call 1-800-803-8511. You'll be calling directly to the home office of Encore Energy. That's 1-800-803-8511. Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary.
Michael Devine, the Doctor of Truth.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to confess?
That AM 1400 KVFD.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
Well, if you want the truth, you came to the right place. I just happen to be the Doctor of Truth. Yeah, that's right. And if you would like some truth, call 515-955-1400 anytime. And you will get to, well, Dr. Terry Menke is in the studio with the brightest hot pink shirt I've ever seen in my life. So I assume you have an announcement of some sort to make regarding your persuasions?
No.
Okay. But I would ask you to join us so you can comment yourself on Dr. Menke's shirt. And you can do that by going to youtube.com, typing in 1400 KVFD. And there we are. Believe me, it is luminous. It glows in the dark.
Brings out the color of my face.
And it's a statement. It brings out the color of your face.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're kind of one of those ascetic guys. Ascetic guys.
I was born and raised a Methodist, and I saw in the new news about the young people that were getting confirmed, and they made a statement over in Omaha, I believe, because the Methodist Church came out.
Right.
In kind of disagreement with some of the.
Well, they stood by the Bible. Oh my God!
Well,
so here's these kids who have had religious training in the Methodist Church. I assume that they came to that part of the Bible every now and then that is unfavorable to homosexual behavior.
Yeah.
So at this moment during their confirmation, they decided to say, "Well,
make a statement.
We can't really join the church now. We're going to join the church of the inner light shining through your left ear," or some damn thing.
I don't know. But again, that wasn't the way I was brought up. I accept everybody equally. I judge people on their behavior, not on what.
God, that's such baloney.
Well, but it's true. It's true.
I've known you since you were in town. I can tell you that.
Since I was in kindergarten.
Well, no, but since you've been in Fort Dodge with. Well, I won't say the name of the company you were with at the time.
Basically, you've basically you could run this program by yourself because you already know every thought that I have, don't you? You're predicting
I have heard it a few times. Yeah. I think I have heard every thought you ever had.
One of these days you'd listen. Speaking of which,
I'm ready to listen, Terry.
Yesterday I was listening to a recording. It was kind of sporadic with the city manager, and you were talking about the spineless council not standing up to the mayor. Or
spineless, yes.
Spineless, I believe the word was. I don't recall. Probably putting words in your mouth, but that's what you were insinuating. But you said something about the council being unable to override a mayor's veto. You remember that comment from yesterday?
Yeah, well, actually, you can. A council can over.
And we did.
When did you do
that? Recently.
Fairly recently.
Yeah, Mayor Matt's only vetoed a couple of items in
right.
the last 5.5 years since I've been on the council. He's only vetoed one thing, and that was a concession stand out at Harlan Rogers, where we had two bids that were very close to each other, and Matt didn't feel like we were given all the adequate information, so he vetoed it after we passed it. And the council came back and we approved what we had approved originally. So we overrode the mayor's veto.
So it was unanimous, or 6 out of 7, or what?
I don't recall. I mean, we always have one or two that dissent, but I think it was.
That's a way controversial there.
Yeah,
Terry. No wonder I slipped my mind.
Yeah,
I do remember
slipped.
that. I mean, why?
slipped your
Yeah, I didn't. But
Yeah. Well, last week you wimped out on me. I don't know.
Wimped out?
You had a hangnail or something, and you couldn't be on the air. It was
No,
some
you
kind of
implied
weird-
earlier that I was just too lazy to come into work.
I wasn't sure you're awake. I didn't know.
Oh God!
It's moving to the
I just
afternoon.
pale in comparison to you.
You're right. I don't get sick. You know, I pull through. I show up no matter what I feel like.
It worked for years.
Yep. So anyway, we did have a council meeting a couple weeks ago, and we started out with the warden development. And again, I want to reaffirm that I am a great believer that the warden is the key to downtown success. I hope nothing but the best for the future of the warden project.
Now, this isn't some more of your high sarcasm.
No,
isn't it?
well, in an indirect way.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I was a little bit concerned. I mean, I like Matt Brown. He's done a great job. I'm not a big fan of KDG, which I think has been evident. And
You think they suck?
Well, I didn't say that. I just don't think that they've performed to the threshold that we've set for them.
That's thinking they suck.
Yeah. Well, that's your words, not mine again.
Yeah. Well,
But anyway,
let's stick to the truth here. You think they suck. It's
Well,
not that you have a difference of opinion with KDG
but I went-
concerning their
in preparation.
performance. Yeah, you think they suck, and you said it several times.
In preparation for the meeting, I did a little bit of historical research. I wanted to refresh my mind a little bit about that. And going back, we gave that building to the KDG project.
You gave it to them?
Yeah, more or less. We just kind of handed off the title to it in December of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our first real...
We didn't want to pay the property tax.
Well, they still don't pay it.
Oh, they still don't pay it?
There's still no tax due on the building, so they have paid no taxes on the building. We have given them $180,000 though for some of their preliminary work, and Matt Brown's bill so far is $239,042. So we've got a little bit of money invested in this project, and the city is really anticipating that eventually something's going to happen in that.
So we've given KDG 180 grand,
Yeah.
and Matt Brown how much? 243,
239,
239,
42. Yep, $239,042.
So we're getting
we're a little bit-
dangerously close to $500,000.
Yeah, we've got some money sucked into it, but again, what the work that's being done can be carried on no matter what the developer is doing. That once the tax credits are in place, any developer can come in and utilize those tax credits. So basically, that's what Matt Brown is doing. He's facilitating the process. He's keeping track, making sure that everything's up to date.
So here, let me ask this question
Okay.
before you get into an explanation. Supposedly, not supposedly, but let's just suppose the tax credits come in.
Yep.
KDG continues to suck. Your words, not mine.
Your
KDG continues to suck. Can we just say, well, we have the tax credits now, KDG. We're going on to a developer that doesn't suck.
I would imagine that could probably be done, but probably with some litigation.
Oh, really?
I would
They'd
assume
fight us.
I would assume that they would fight us.
So we'd be in court saying they suck, and KDG
No,
KDG would be saying, no, we don't. Yes, you do. No, you don't.
I'm just a little bit concerned. But, I mean, let me backtrack here. In 2017, the first time Matt Brown gave a report to the council, he told us that the project would be done by the end of 2019.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think it's going to happen either. And a development agreement with KDG would be completed before July 1st of 2017. Well, I can tell you today that we do not have a development agreement with KDG, and we do not have any indication that they're going to sign a development agreement with the city. If they do sign a development agreement with the city, we would be able to hold them accountable to timelines and performance, which is very difficult to do now. So they're basically, and Matt Brown told me at the meeting a couple weeks ago that a week and a half ago now, that basically KDG is now waiting to get the historical tax credits in place before they actually sign the development agreement. The tax credits are critical for the success of the project. They have federal tax credits, which are about 20% of the total price, and state tax credits are about 25%. So these tax credits can be received and then they can be sold on the market. And so that's where KDG is going to get their cash in order to do the business that they're going to do. So they're anticipating the cost about 35 million bucks. So this is, probably 17, 18 million dollars that they're counting on. These things have been done before. Des Moines has done one. Fort Des Moines hotel down there was redeveloped using these tax credits. The Warrior Hotel in Sioux City is currently undergoing renovations.
Who's doing those projects? What developers?
Restoration LLC out of St. Louis is the one that's doing the Warrior.
Any chance we can switch to them?
I don't know. They started on that.
I mean,
project.
really, I'm being snarky. I know, but this is ridiculous.
Anything could happen. I mean, you never can tell. And again, we were told KDG is actually going to spend $315,000 of their own money in the near future to do some additional work. I don't know what that work involves. Again, I don't get involved in the meetings for some reason or other. I've never been invited to those meetings.
You won't keep calm and collaborate.
Yeah, that's true. But city staff does meet with Matt Brown. KDG did not attend those meetings for several months after we quit paying them. So there was no interaction. And basically now what they were waiting for was separation of the Wakanza Annex and the Warden, because those were all considered part of the historic district. And in order for us to do the demolition on the Wakanza Annex, which is the building to the east of the Warden, we had to have those separated. KDG did not let us know that. They were notified by the state, but we were kind of in the dark for several months. And then when we found out, then it proceeded and we got it separated. And now we actually have that as a separate building, which is scheduled to be demoed this fall. So my frustration with the deal is that we've been told now for over 2 years that this was proceeding. There were no alarms. Everything seemed to be heading in the right direction. But nothing's been done. And as you know, the sidewalk.
Well, who would know or who could ask KDG why nothing has been done?
Well, you got the big guy that comes in every Tuesday afternoon.
Derek,
Yeah, he would probably be able to answer you. And Matt probably is more knowledge than me on these things, because I think he's involved in these discussions.
Well, Pounce has those two hypnotized, though.
You think?
into collaborating, keeping calm and collaborating.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing. And again, I hope
Denny's calm.
Yeah. Denny's calm. Yep. But again, Denny's been through a lot more than me over the years. But I'm
with different mayors too.
Yeah.
Pounce is a real veteran of Fort Dodge wars, I'll tell you.
But I mean, I just get frustrated with this deal. I want to see something done. I think they should be in there cleaning the building up. The possibility of future work on the building, I think, hinges on the fact that they need to start. If you can't start, then you can't finish. And again, they're talking. Now, I think it was 2023 is they're anticipating that it will be done. But again, that's, 5 years after they told us after they took the building over, and, it's 4 years after they told us it was going to be done when they first got it. So I just hope that I'm alive long enough to actually go in there and enjoy the fine facility that's going to be. That's all I'm asking for. But it's just very frustrating. I know everybody is rah-rah about this, and they have a right to be excited about it because, again, it is a key project for downtown. A lot of future development hinges on that.
Downtown is just not going to look good until something's done with that monster.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a dominant building in our town that you drive down First South, man. It's just it's a giant pig.
Depressing. It's depressing. I mean, we're looking, our 150th anniversary is this year, and we're looking at a public art piece, and that will hopefully be placed right across the street where we bought the building, right kitty corner from the City Hall. We're hoping to put a public art piece over there in the corner. So, I mean, we knocked the Wakanza down. We're building public art. We're doing everything as a city to move the project forward. We're spending money and we're keeping our fingers crossed, and, the doors are locked and nothing's being done. So I don't know what to tell you. I just, it's very, very frustrating. I don't know, if it was me, I'd probably be a little bit more aggressive, trying to get people to get in there with shovels and start shoveling stuff out the windows. I mean, something's got to be done. It's got to be done quickly. And it's been done before. I mean, we've got other cities in Iowa and throughout the Midwest. A lot of these old buildings have been renovated. And our options are pretty narrow. If we can't renovate it, then we have to tear it down. And I don't think anybody wants to tear it down. I think it would be a mistake to knock that building down. And it's structurally sound.
Why?
Why? Well, first off, it'd probably cost about $3 million. And second off, what are you going to do with the lot when it's down? I mean, what do you
that's a hell of a comment on downtown. Let's go for the $3 million option and get rid of it. But then we'd never have anything there.
No, you'd never be able to rebuild that building. I mean, $35 million to remodel it. I mean, you're probably looking at $50 million to rebuild it, if you were to start at the bottom up. So if we had, like Sioux City has made arrangements with the Marriott Group, and they're bringing in the Autograph Hotel downtown. And, there's possibility maybe we could be looking at maybe 1 or 2 floors of the Warden could be renovated into a hotel, motel type facility, long-term living, apartments, condos, whatever you want. The rec center component, I think, is moving forward. Again, that's another frustrating process that, I'm not involved in directly, but, they haven't even started fundraising on that. And we're hoping that the intermodal transportation hub, the parking facility, we reapplied for that build grant, and we're probably here shortly in the next few months if that's going to go through. If the build grant goes through, and I think we learned our lesson on a few things we can do differently, and that was part of the trip to DC this time, was to clarify some of the shortcomings of our last application. But I think if we get the build grant, then that's going to stimulate the parking facility as well as the rec center development. So there's a lot of things that hinge, but again, the Warden Plaza definitely is, I think, the sweetheart of downtown and needs to be preserved, renovated, and something needs to be done. It's just frustrating. So
you came on today to put a little pressure on who, Furyk and Matt, or
they don't care.
No, they really don't, do they?
No, I don't think I can put any pressure on anybody. I'm just expressing my frustration.
You're just you, and let me be your therapist.
You can be my therapist.
You're right, and those other guys are just being mean to you, and they're totally wrong. There.
Yeah, thank you for agreeing with me. Finally.
Yeah.
No, it's just, something needs to be done, and it's just frustrating. Like I said, I like Matt Brown. I think he's a great guy. I think he's doing a great job. The work that he's doing can be transferred on if we do have to move on. And I think a lot of these things are procedural issues that need somebody a lot more knowledgeable than what I am to do them, and he's done a very good job. He sets the timelines, but the timelines are ignored or just never met. And so it's kind of like a moving target, kind of like herding cats or pinning down Mercury. And it's just KDG does respond, but they don't respond in a timely fashion, and I don't know who's actually checking their work product. So that's my soapbox.
I don't know if anybody is. Is that the deal? I mean, that we don't
Well, when they don't show up for meetings, it's hard to get them to answer questions. And so I think they've been a little bit more responsive here recently, because I think they understand that we're getting a little bit frustrated. And again, I think the hurdles that were up there with the historical tax credits, now that they've disappeared, I think we've going to hopefully be able to hold their feet to the fire a little bit here and actually get them to come up with some construction drawings, which was one reason I was told that they couldn't submit. The deadline with the state historical people, they only have one application date this year instead of the normal 2. But again, they've been working on this for a couple of years, and they should have had everything done for submission, I think, for this particular time. And actually, the deadline was in March, and they did not have any construction documents available for the grant application. So, to me, they just didn't get the job done that they said they were going to, and it cost them in the long run. So now they won't be able to reapply probably until next spring. And that's why the construction date's been kicked back to 2023 for completion.
Jeez.
Yeah. So again, it's
you and I could be dead by then.
Well, yeah, that's right. We definitely could. But we get all these pretty drawings and stuff. And again, I know there's a lot of work being done kind of behind the scenes. I know there's a lot of paperwork that's being done, and there's a lot.
What's being done behind the scenes?
Well, they've got.
Christ, man, we've been going since December 2016.
Yep.
And you're telling me there's action behind the scenes?
Yep. I think there's a
like
lot.
Like what?
Well,
naps are being taken. God.
Yeah, that's it. Naps are being taken.
Naps are being taken. Pizza's being eaten.
Yeah. again, they have apparently secured some of their financing. They've got some loan documents that they've worked on. They do have to have the development agreement in place, which they claim that they do have, but they don't have with the city. They got to have some equity. They got to have some tax abatement, which we gave them a couple years ago. They've got to have the anticipated rehabilitation line. They've got to have their building permits, which they have not gotten, and they've got to have all their planning in place, which, they have not done. So there's 150 points that the state historical people look at, and Matt's anticipating that they're going to get probably 130. But again, this is a competitive loan process. So other buildings, other projects throughout the state are also going for these same projects. So the simple fact that they're applying for them does not mean that they're going to get them. So if their funding does not come through in the amount and the time that they think it's going to, then the project could be pushed back even farther than what they're telling us right now. So it's, it's kind of a guessing game at this point, and hopefully everything will come together. Hopefully. But you're not that optimistic, are you? I'm a little leery.
You're a little leery.
Well,
we'll be back with Dr. Leary in just a few minutes.
Michael Devine, the mayor of Manville.
It's a fancy title for a part-time job.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
I don't mean Dr. Larry the acid head. I mean Dr. Larry the vegetarian here. 2:31, the news is next.
Hi, this is Heather Reck with Neighborhood Realty. Are you thinking about selling your home but not sure who to list with? Well, being from Dayton, I am centrally located between several larger markets and have a vast knowledge of the small surrounding towns and acreages as well. I'm a full-time agent and mom of 3, making me a pro at schedules and time management. But that's not what is most important. At Neighborhood Realty, we'll list it, we'll sell it, and you'll move on. Find our information online at neighborhood-realty.net and make sure to check us out on Facebook.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. In a special election on Tuesday, the city of Lehigh elected former Mayor Paula Martin to the position of mayor in the Webster County town. Martin earned the most votes with 24 in an election with only write-in candidates. Former Mayor Phil Richardson resigned on January 1st, and Martin will serve the remainder of the term that expires in 2021. May is Mental Health Month, and One Fort Dodge man is spreading awareness of mental health in Webster County. Randy Hoover works for Freedom Point in Fort Dodge, a community support program that focuses on mental health issues. Hoover says that mental health awareness is extremely important in Webster County.
We have a lot of services, but we have way more people than we have services. And we do peer support services, which means we're right there in the front. We see these people as their lives are kind of falling apart. And we can help direct them to like Berry Hill Community Health, other therapists in town to get the help they need.
Freedom Point is passing out Mental Health Month ribbons all May. You can find them at LifeWorks at 13018 8th Street in Fort Dodge. Ribbons can also be found at the Berry Hill Center and Community Health in Fort Dodge. Governor Kim Reynolds isn't given any indication on what she will do with several high-profile bills that passed the recent legislative session. She does say there's been a lot of input on whether to sign or veto the sports gambling bill.
I'm hearing on both sides. I've had a lot of people reach out.
The bill approved by lawmakers would let the state's casinos take bets on professional and college sports either at the casinos or elsewhere via smartphone app. Reynolds says many people don't want to see or sign the bill into law.
They're concerned about, addiction to gambling and that the impact that this may have.
Others say the state needs to take control.
I've had a lot of other people that have indicated it is happening. It is going to continue to happen. And they think it's very important that we have some kind of oversight.
Reynolds says both sides have made their feelings known.
It's pretty equal right now, but I'm hearing a lot from both.
The governor says she is treating the gambling bill like all the others and will go over it with her team and make a decision on whether to sign it into law. A special driving tour route through the Union Slough National Wildlife Refuge in northern Iowa will open this Saturday and end at sundown on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 12th. Ed Deering, the refuge manager, says the tour route will open from sunrise to sunset.
Recommend people bring a pair of binoculars or maybe a bird book. We have had a couple of sandhill cranes on the refuge here for about 2 weeks. A little bit unusual. Haven't confirmed that they're nesting, but we hope that they will on the refuge at some point in time.
Mindarian says water levels are pretty high at the refuge due to the wet weather this spring and past winter. That means animal life rather than vegetation is the main draw.
We've been doing some prescribed burning. There's some areas that are starting to green up from that. Not a lot of other stuff coming up at this time, but people should see deer, pheasants, ducks, geese, trumpeter swan along the tour route.
The drive-in tour round is only open a couple of weeks each year. It starts at the refuge headquarters and takes visitors by wetlands, open water, and prairie habitat. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
Here's a look at how the markets closed today. May corn up 6 3/4 at $3.60. July up 6 at $3.68 1/2. September up 5 3/4 at $3.76 1/4. December up 5 1/4 at $3.86 1/4. May soybeans down 1 3/4 at $8.39 1/2. July down 2 1/4 at $8.51 3/4. August down 2 at $8.58. November down 1 3/4 at $8.73. May wheat closed up 6 1/2 at $4.25. Soybean meal unchanged at $2.96. June live cattle down 37 cents at $113.87. August down 80 at $110.97. May feeder cattle down 22 at $141.37. August up 7 at $149.22. May lean hogs closed up 280 at $87.10. June limit up to close at $91.22. I'm Dwayne Murley.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 1616 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 1616. Enjoy.
This is AM 1400, KVFD, the voice for Dodge 237. We'll be back with Councilman Menke in just a few minutes. First in the weather, cloudy today with a high of 54. Overnight, a slight chance of rain. Otherwise, cloudy with a low of 44. Tomorrow, very slight chance of rain. Otherwise, sunny with a high of 62. Friday, sunny with a high of 63. Saturday, it'll be sunny with a high of 71. Sunday, a chance of rain. Otherwise, sunny with a high of 67. On Monday, a chance of rain, sunny with a high of 70. Tuesday, again, a chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a high of 63. 49 degrees and overcast right now. I don't know why we can't get away from this rain cloud that we're under, but that's the way it is. 49 degrees at AM 1400, KVFD, the voice for Dodge. Obituaries this hour brought to you by Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 1615 North 15th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-7128 or online at www.gundersonfuneralhome.com. Janice Allard has passed away. Janice Allard has died. Services for Ms. Allard will be tomorrow at Tompkins Celebration Center. Visitation from 10 to 11. Thursday at Tompkins Celebration Center with Gunderson Funeral Home serving the family. Karen Good has died. Services for Karen Good tomorrow afternoon at 2 at the Gunderson Chapel. Visitation from 5 to 7 at Gunderson's Funeral Home. Obituaries this hour brought to you by Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 1615 North 15th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-7128 or online at www.gundersonfuneralhome.com. This is AM 1400, KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. 239, 49 degrees. Councilman Terry Menke is next.
As the nation's leader in pork production and pork exports, Iowa's pork producers are doing things right. It's their ethical and moral responsibility. Hog farmers keep their pigs safe and healthy, safeguard natural resources, protect public health, and build strong communities every day. Pork quality, responsible production, and continuous improvement are roles they take very seriously. Iowa's pork producers, producing safe, affordable food. Sponsored by Iowa's pork producers and their pork checkoff.
The Webster County pork producers remind you when it comes to protecting their family's health, Iowa's pig farmers are some of the most concerned people around. Safe, affordable, delicious, and nutritious pork can be served for your dinner tonight. Roasted, grilled, stewed, sauteed, stir-fried, broiled, kebabbed, sauced, dipped, sandwiched in your new recipes and your old recipes. Why not buy some pork today and serve it up tonight? This message brought to you by the Webster County pork producers, striving to serve people, pigs, and the planet.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
Listen to this.
Making radio great again.
Yeah, this is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice for Dodge. Don't let your love start slipping away, Terry Menke. Don't let your love start slipping away, because I know you're a human love machine. You got that hot pink shirt on. Ladies and gentlemen, I again invite you to join us via youtube.com. Just go to youtube.com and type in 1400 KVFD, and there we are. Me with my mediocre Fort Dodge Dodgers gray sweatshirt on, and Terry with a hot pink, absolutely luminous shirt in the studio today. So it's I don't know if I'd describe that as a masculine shirt or not, but I would say that it was.
I've been looking for a yellow shirt for years.
Yellow shirt, canary yellow.
I haven't been able to find one.
When I was in high school, canary yellow button-down shirts were a big deal. Yeah. Of course, that was a long time ago.
Several decades. Yeah. Decades. Yeah.
Decades. Yeah.
So a couple of things I wanted to bring up. First, the burn ban is going to be lifted starting this Saturday until the following Sunday.
Burn down some houses.
Hopefully that won't happen. Say 25 feet away from your house. No more than 3 fires at a time, 5 feet apart. If it burns too much and the smoke gets to anybody, they will call the fire or police department, and they'll come out and put it out. If the wind starts blowing, put the fire out, and you got to have them out by 8 o'clock at night. So feel free to burn this weekend through the following Sunday, but be respectful, because there's people like our hosts that, miss days of work because they have allergies and things like that. So just be careful and don't abuse it. Just take it easy. A couple other things coming up. We've got the St. Edmund Ball this weekend. Are you going to go to that?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah. Mitch and Jamie Lunn and Ben and Jen Crimmins are the chairs this year, and they've done a very good job. Mitch and Jamie Lunn. She used to be a McGough, graduated with one of my kids.
Yeah.
He runs a State Farm agency.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
And then Ben.
He was in school with my son as well.
Yeah, that's showing your age. Yeah. But anyway, then Ben and Jen Crimmins are also hosts, or I guess whatever you call them this year. So that'll be on Saturday night. And then on Sunday, you're invited out to Fort Frenzy for the Sizzle and Boom Bacon Fest that we're going to have out there as a fundraiser for the fireworks. $25 gets you 10 coupons. You can go around and sample all the different bacon delights. There will be some kind of a beverage.
Sample the bacon delights.
Sample the bacon delights. We're going to limit it to 300 tickets. They're selling relatively well. They're at Shiny Top and Fort Frenzy, and also at my office. And so if you can't get enough to eat, they have additional tickets available for $20 for 10 more coupons. So I think right now we've got about 10 different restaurants throughout town, at least 10 that will be participating, and we're going to have a band out there. So from 2 to 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, you're invited out. So that'll be a good thing. So those are pretty much my public service announcements. I did want to mention, I don't know if anybody brought this up or if you had paid attention to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 6th District that ruled that chalking tires is a type of trespass. Were you aware of that?
No, but I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, they've basically said that for parking enforcement, you can't mark the tires anymore. And this is just in the 6th Circuit area.
Thank God Gary Tucker's not here to see this day.
Gary would be rolling around.
Wouldn't he?
Yeah, that includes Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. But I would assume once this is started, it's probably going to start spreading. Fortunately, we're kind of a step ahead with our passport system, which is the license plate recognition software that's going to be coming. We'll be getting a car and putting that on, so we'll be able to GPS locate it. This lady that filed the suit had gotten 15 tickets, apparently all from one parking enforcement lady, and she wasn't too happy. They accused her of being a prolific chalker, whatever that is. Yeah,
somebody who's earning money for the town.
Yeah. So anyway,
at At least Matt and the city people don't come in here and tell me that chalking tires is for public safety.
No, not yet.
There's still some kind of who was it? Oh yeah, David was in here yesterday, giving me that public safety song and dance.
Yeah, well, he should. That's his job.
Well, David is too smart a guy to really think that anybody believed that. It's not about public safety, not even close.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they ruled that the Fourth Amendment protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures. So somehow or another, they interpreted that as chalking tires as a type of trespass. It's my understanding we're still chalking tires in the state of Iowa and in Fort Dodge. So I don't think this is a problem yet. But again, when it happens one place, it can go other places. So.
Well, the cities again, who depend on that revenue, of course, their regressive taxes, they'll be screaming at their legislators and probably already are.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Poor Ann Meyer over that judges thing. I think Bemrick and some of the guys beat her up. I don't know.
Yeah, Ann's tough. I'm
tough?
sure that first year was probably exciting for her.
She must be. I tell you, I really think a lot of Ann, and I really think a lot of Jim Meyer, her husband.
Yep, Jim's a nice guy.
For a first-year legislator to be called to the governor's office over the judges twice.
I heard twice. Yeah.
The governor's office to explain why this newbie, so to speak, to the House of Representatives was defying the governor of her own party. Now that's guts.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably intimidating for her.
Well, and you never know what kind of blowback you'll get. Those people down there have long memories. It's very partisan there, both sides, Republican and Democrat. They're very, very partisan.
Tim, of course, did not back down. He was out at our PAC on Monday night, and I talked to him a little bit about it, and he basically said he didn't care. But anyway, we did move on.
But he voted to change.
Yeah, he voted to change it. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he kind of stood with the party line, I think, which he does.
Why wouldn't he? I mean, do you have a problem with standing?
No, I think if you feel like it's right, then that's the way you should vote.
Very well. Did you think that was the right way to vote?
Well,
or were
I'm not
you
going to get it. A month ago, you broke down and had an emotional, stroke over there because I said something about it. So I know nothing about it. I'm not going to talk about it.
So I had a stroke over the judges thing?
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I have that doggone thing about
you just get going.
No accountability, no taxation without representation, all that old libertarian stuff.
Yeah.
Bemrick was in here a while ago and he said, "Oh, you and that libertarian stuff." Like, I don't know what freedom that bothers you.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
The pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, at the last council meeting, you probably glossed over the fact, but we did buy 5 houses on North 8th Street.
I'm so glad. When are you going to get over on 4th Avenue North and bulldoze all of those?
Well, we keep including yours. Yours is new.
Yeah, mine's new. No, I'm in a new construction. Well, it was standing there for a couple of years before I got there, but
anyway,
I've been very happy there. But some of those rentals are a disgrace. I mean,
yeah. Well, we were actually approached by the owners of this property that were quite run down and they weren't being rented. I think there's only one of the 5 that we bought actually had tenants in it, and they're in poor shape. And this neighborhood has been kind of targeted for future redevelopment. Actually, was part of the development a few years ago when they redid 9th Street about 10 years ago, but we just kind of ran out of money. So these properties were offered, and the owners of the property are more or less going to knock them down too, which saves the city a little bit of money, a lot of money, because we don't have to do asbestos removal that way. And so they're going to knock these properties down, and with Corpus Christi, moving to the single church in the next year or 2, I don't know what the exact date is on that, but that whole neighborhood is kind of ripe for redevelopment, and it's a natural extension of our downtown redevelopment to redevelop this property up to the north and hopefully make it a entryway into the downtown corridor. So we had the opportunity to buy these. We had some money set aside for demolition and acquisition of abandoned nuisance property. And that's been kind of a thing that's been moving forward in the last few years. We've been kind of pushing that because, as you know, a city has some properties that isn't very nice looking. And if you can't fix it up, And I know the housing trust that Kim and the group have been working with, Mr. Allstott. The housing
God, I
trust-
wish Kim had come back.
Well, I'm sure he would. He'll probably be here in 10 minutes after you said that. But anyway,
I don't think so. I don't know what I did to him, but he's
Yeah, he'd be glad to come back.
Things-
I could bring him back next week with me if you want to.
No,
Kinda
no,
ease
no,
him
no,
in.
no.
And ease him in. you know,
No,
like a,
no,
like
no,
a new
no.
puppy. We'll
I
put him
gave
in
him the
corner.
opportunity to tell me what the problem was, and he passed on it.
Yeah.
So that's it.
The problem is probably your personality. But other than that,
I'm a sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah, you keep drinking that tonic. But anyway,
I don't
they
drink tonic. Bourbon.
the housing trust that they've been working on and they've got approved. They're putting new roofs on a lot of these properties. Part of the reconditioning process, they require roofs to be good and structurally sound. So this group has been working with Webster City and some of the other smaller towns that have come up with the money to become part of the group. And they've actually, I don't know what Kim told me the other day, 10, 12 houses or something like that. They're going to put roofs on in the next, well, probably this summer. So that's a great thing. So we're rehabilitating and we're acquiring and demoing those that they can't do. We continue to work on all this abandoned property. But again, you driving around town during junk days, you really can't tell. Fort Dodge looks a little grubby right now, but hopefully in another week or two, it'll look a lot better. But this abandoned property has been an issue, and we're aggressively attacking it. So aggressively. So I'm hoping that it continues. So we did get from Jeff Nemmers, we did get some information on the GEO bond. They prepare a very nice kind of a summary of Fort Dodge and what's happening. There's a lot of information in there, a lot of financial and other data that's kind of fun to look at. If you look at our population from 1900 to 2019, we're basically flat. We haven't actually shown any growth in the Fort Dodge community. It's hung around 25,000 people, and that's not good because, obviously we'd like to see more people moving to Fort Dodge. Part of that is the fact we haven't had any new housing for a while. But as Denny mentioned, I think a couple weeks ago, last year we had 52 new residential building permits. The prior year we had 8, the year before that 3, the year before that 3, and the year before that 6. So our residential housing permits are going up quite a bit thanks to the Williams Bend and also the Gypsum Creek developments. So we're hoping that the town continues to grow, and we hope that our population base increases, and that will help stabilize our taxes. Looking at the tax rates also over the last 5 years, I can tell you that in 14, our city share per thousand was $20.47. And in 19, this time it was $20.42. So we actually went down 5 cents on our tax levy, which is a good thing because, the assessments went up, but our tax rates have stayed pretty much the same. So the biggest increase in the tax levy comes actually from Iowa Central College with their bond issue for their improvements out there. So that's showing the biggest increase in the last few years.
All right.
So
All right.
we're having a good time.
That's
rolling.
just Dean Coleman. He's
Hi,
from
Dean.
the Soybean Association.
Yeah, he's been here before.
Oh, yeah, he's been
Yeah,
here.
I love soybeans. That's a major part of my diet.
It is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Terry's a vegetarian, Dean. I know even you think that's weird. He eats a lot of bean pod, so it
virtually-
probably helps your business. But
virtually unelectable. I don't drink and I don't eat.
don't
meat.
smoke and
No,
don't do any of those things.
Yeah.
You had to drink and smoke in the old days in Fort Dodge. I'll tell you.
We used
They
to
had
have
the
them-
after the council meetings down at the top had it.
Yeah, well, I think right across the street at Amber's, I think.
Well, that was there, and then when they closed Anvers, it was out the community tab.
Yeah, well, that's good. Probably got a lot of things solved. Now we can't get more than 3 of us together at one time.
Well, you
So,
don't go to Old Boston. You see, that's where the gang.
Is that where the gang hangs
that's
out?
where the gang hangs out.
Yeah, well, I don't go there very often either. But anyway, we're moving forward. We got a meeting again coming up. We'll be looking at some different things. I don't have any insight as far as what's happening. I do know that the fireworks permits are rolling in. So we are going to have fireworks for sale in the fine community of Fort Dodge again this year. We ask that you respect your neighbors and not blow anything up.
Oh, you're asking
sorry
for
if I-
respect in Fort Dodge, really?
Asking for a little bit of respect. Yeah.
Well, I hope we can rise to the occasion there. But
yeah, we're kind of tired of fireworks ordinances and changing and
all the drama. Did you stop all those people coming to the council all the time with all their
Well,
dramatic With
This
all their
last time,
junk.
we didn't really have too much pushback with this last change that we did when we kind of pushed back some of the ordinances from like 20 feet setback to 100 foot, basically addressing close to residential property. But, we didn't get a lot of pushback because I think people realize that no matter what you do, you're still got the law out there that allows them to shoot them. So you can restrict, you can ban them, you can, do anything you want to in a city, but you can't quit the selling and the firing in the county. So no matter what we do in the city, you still have the right to shoot them. So a lot of work going on. I was out at Pizza Ranch the other day. They got Fifth Avenue South all torn up.
I thought we had a call there for a minute.
Well, somebody important. But Fifth Avenue South is torn up. 8th Avenue South is torn up. Down on 22nd, there's 22nd, 12th Avenue South, I think, is torn up. The trail works are progressing. 15th Street. They're going to continue to work up there on 15th Street. They were digging up there a little bit yesterday, but the rain's been a little bit hard on some of the construction. But I know Castor's been working on the trails.
Castor's doing a lot of work for the city, isn't
Yeah,
he?
they do a lot. I didn't realize that he was apparently worked with Hovey for a number of years.
Oh, a long time. I've known Jordan since he was a teenager.
Yeah, so I see his truck all over the place, but I don't really know him. But
hard-working young man.
Yeah,
I
they do a
was
lot of
probably 40 years old by now. But
yeah, and we got Crow Creek or Crow River, whatever they call it. Those are young guys. They start when the sun comes up and they don't quit until the sun goes down. We've actually had some complaints from people that they're making too much noise and it's dark outside. So we're happy to see them
making too much noise when
or they're doing construction and they're working 12 to 14 hours a day.
The weather's just been screwed up the last couple of years.
They like to work. So, and we're happy to have it. But
I did road work for several years. And, made a lot of money in the summertime.
But it does look like the power poles have been moved up on 15th Street. So hopefully that trail will get done, and it should be a fairly quick, easy process since it's going to be adjacent to the road. So we're hoping that that trail work's done. The Pleasant Valley trail work, they're going underneath the bridge. We had hoped to get the mural painted very quickly, but with the trail work down there, we've kind of delayed, and we've had some other issues down there too. So we're hoping to get that mural art done yet this summer. So a lot of work's being done in town, and we don't apologize for any of it because we think it's a great thing.
Yeah. People are angry because their streets are tore up. Then when guys get out there and try to get them fixed, they're angry because they're working long days. I'll tell you what, all of us here understand you gotta make hay when the sun shines.
Yeah.
I mean, farmers, construction workers, road contractors.
You look at all the dump trucks that are. I mean, look at Aldi's out there. All the work they've done. They've torn up that parking lot and they got a big pile of concrete. There's been just literally dozens of trucks around town hauling concrete, and I don't know where they're going or what they're doing with it, but. Man, if you got a dump truck right now, and if you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs, something's wrong because there's a lot of work out there.
Yeah.
Jensen tore out behind the fire station a couple of days ago. All the concrete was ripped out on Monday.
What's Aldi's doing out there again?
Aldi's redoing the parking lot. They took over the dollar store adjacent to them, so they're actually expanding the inside. And I think
Aldi's is expanding their business.
Yeah, they completely gutted the building, and they're going to redo the parking. They've always had a little bit of a water problem out there. There's been a little bit, so they're putting in. I see a lot of pipes out there, and they're hooked into the storm sewer. So they're going to be doing a lot of work, and it's nice to see that happen because Aldi's has been kind of the stepchild. I mean, you got Walmart and Hy-Vee and Target out there that all sell food, and then you got Aldi's sitting there, but they're always busy. Seems to be a popular place for a lot of people.
Well, if they're expanding, they must be.
They must be happy. Must be happy. So, yep.
Good for them.
Yep. So a lot of things are happening. A lot of businesses. Haven't heard anything from Howard Allen as far as when he's going to start down there on 7th Street. They staked it out last fall. They surveyed it, but that apartment complex has been kind of stalled for the last year or two. But the Phillips School, the North Junior High School, they're renting those properties up there. They're still working on that, the second and third level. I don't know what the Fine Arts Association's doing with the auditorium. If they hadn't kicked you out of there, maybe you could give me some insider. But
I was kicked down.
Yeah, apparently your behavior got you kicked out of the Fine Arts Association.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you remember that?
No, I don't have a memory for that sort of thing. I've been thrown out of so many things.
Well, anyway, once that's
I was
done,
thrown out of the country kitchen here in town.
Were you
back
really?
when we had a country kitchen?
Yeah. Well, that's too bad. Sorry to hear that.
I didn't think it was too bad. I had fun.
Yeah. So a lot of work's going on. People's Credit Union, I don't know what they're doing out there. They keep digging and moving stuff. They're building a retaining wall, but that project seems to be dragging on forever. It'll be interesting to see what they do on that west side of the building because it sticks up a little bit. So I don't know if they're going to put a retaining wall there or what they're going to do, but that project should be done, I think, this fall. So
all right.
Other than that, we just keep plugging along.
Just keep plugging along.
See Click Fix. If you got a problem with your road.
Fix. That's a great app, by the way.
I know it.
App.
If you got a problem, I turned somebody in the other day for a bunch of trash.
So you did.
Oh, yeah.
You ratted them out?
Between Steve Peterson and I think we're the two, not Steve Peterson, the soybean guy, but Steve Peterson, the water guy. And I think we're probably the two biggest users of that app. I think Steve's got one that's been outstanding for like 1,000 days, and I've got one that's been outstanding for just over 900. So we're competing to see who gets it done first. So, yeah.
Neither one of you have any road to go.
No, we don't have. Obviously, we don't have any power or influence.
Yeah. So don't Joe Peterson. So essentially, it's all sunshine and roses except that damn Warden Plaza.
Well, it'd be nice if we could do something over there.
All right,
just clean it up would be nice.
3:00. This is KVFD Fort Dodge.
If you're into cars or just want to learn a thing or two, tune in every Saturday afternoon from 2 till 4 for the Under the Hood Car Show on AM 1400 KVFD Fort Dodge.
Opposite sides of the same report. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Attorney General William Barr defending his handling of the Mueller report at a Senate hearing where Democrats like Chris Coons questioned his decision not to pursue an obstruction case.
The Russians offered the Trump campaign dirt on Hillary Clinton, and the Trump campaign never reported that to the FBI. Instead, they tried to conceal the meeting and misled the American people.
Republican Senator Tom Tillis accusing Democrats, meantime, of playing politics because the Russia probe did not lead to charges against the president.
Saying that, well, in spite of all the work, we're going to indict them anyway. And if we can't indict them, then we're going to impugn your integrity and call you a liar. I find that behavior on this committee despicable.
The hearing also focusing in part on a recently revealed letter. Fox's John Decker following this live from the White House.
Attorney General Bill Barr told senators that he called Robert Mueller after he received a letter from the special counsel in which Mueller claimed that Barr's summary of his report did not fully capture the context, nature, and substance of his conclusions.
I said, Bob, what's with the letter? Why don't you just pick up the phone and call me if there's an issue? And he said that they were concerned about the way the media was playing this.
Mueller's letter memorialized his objections, and now senators from both sides want to hear testimony from him. Lisa?
Thanks, John. The U.S. economy is on a healthy path. That from Fed Chief Jay Powell.
Incoming data since our last meeting in March have been broadly in line with our expectations. Economic growth and job creation have both been a bit stronger than we anticipated, while inflation has been somewhat weaker.
Signaling again a patient approach on interest rates as the Fed leaves a key rate unchanged once again. A late sell-off on Wall Street, though, the Dow down 163 points at the bell. This is Fox News.
All right, welcome to F-150 Radio. Call from Georgia. Chad, what's shaking in Macon?
I know the F-150 kicks butt and takes names.
Like how the high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy F-150 thrashes the competition with best-in-class towing and torque?
Mm-hmm. Not surprised. Totally saw that coming.
Chad, how do you know so much about F-150 beating the competition?
I drive the competition. Got a 10-year lease.
Kind of embarrassing, huh?
Maybe I shouldn't advertise that fact on a national talk radio show.
Good call. The Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
Best-in-class claims with properly configured vehicles. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation.
Now get a 2019 F-150 with 0% financing for 72 months, only at your Ford dealer. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 0% APR financing for 72 months at $13.89 per month per thousand finance, regardless of down payment. Program number 21038 on 2019 Ford F-150. Not available on Raptor. Residency restrictions apply. Take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 5/31/19. See dealer for qualifications and complete details.
Officers who ran toward the gunman during a deadly shooting at the University of North Carolina Charlotte campus yesterday are being hailed as heroes.
Today I brought forth two of our officers that were the first officers on the scene in the Kennedy building.
Campus Chief Jeff Baker.
They acted exactly as trained, and that is, we don't sit, we don't wait, we go.
He's praising the quick apprehension of the suspect who killed 2 and wounded 4, 3 of them critically injured, on the last day of classes. Meantime, the UNC chancellor confirming at that news briefing just a short time ago they will continue as planned with the schedule for final exams and graduation. May Day, otherwise known as International Workers' Day, is being marked around the world.
Most dramatically in Paris, France, where protesters clashed with police, resulting in injuries and over 200 arrests. Greece and other European countries also marked the day. All told, some 66 nations around the world recognize the day as an official holiday. Russia, where there was always a big, well-orchestrated turnout, saw some 100,000 take part in a rally in Moscow. Many countries across the economically booming Asia marked the day, folks demanding improved working conditions and wider labor rights. The day, in fact, actually originated in the U.S. with the labor action in 1886 in support of an 8-hour workday.
Fox's Greg Palcott. Nearly 70 protesters detained at one rally in Russia, some of them holding signs calling the Russian president immoral. On the streets of Venezuela, it appears to be the second day of an uprising that the disputed president Nicolas Maduro had claimed was already defeated. The self-proclaimed interim leader Juan Guaido had appealed for the uprising to continue today. Recapping Wall Street, a late sell-off. The Dow drops 163. The S&P and the NASDAQ also lower. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. In a special election on Tuesday, the city of Lehigh elected former Mayor Paula Martin to the position of mayor in the Webster County town. Martin earned the most votes with 24 in an election with only write-in candidates. Former Mayor Phil Richardson resigned on January 1st, and Martin will serve the remainder of the term that expires in 2021. May is Mental Health Month, and one Fort Dodge man is spreading awareness of mental health in Webster County. Randy Hoover works for Freedom Point in Fort Dodge, a community support program that focuses on mental health issues. Hoover says that mental health awareness is extremely important in Webster County.
We have a lot of services, but we have way more people than we have services. And we do peer support services, which means we're right there in the front. We see these people as their lives are kind of falling apart. And we can help direct them to like Berry Hill Community Health, other therapists in town to get the help they need.
Freedom Point is passing out Mental Health Month ribbons all May. You can find them at LifeWorks at 13018 8th Street in Fort Dodge. Ribbons can also be found at the Berry Hill Center and Community Health in Fort Dodge. Governor Kim Reynolds hasn't given any indication on what she will do with several high-profile bills that passed the recent legislative session. She does say there's been a lot of input on whether to sign or veto the sports gambling bill.
I'm hearing on both sides. I've had a lot of people reach out.
The bill approved by lawmakers would let the state's casinos take bets on professional and college sports either at the casinos or elsewhere via smartphone app. Reynolds says many people don't want to see or sign the bill into law.
They're concerned about, addiction to gambling and that the impact that this may have.
Others say the state needs to take control.
I've had a lot of other people that have indicated it is happening. It is going to continue to happen. And they think it's very important that we have some kind of oversight.
Reynolds says both sides have made their feelings known.
It's pretty equal right now, but I'm hearing a lot from both.
The governor says she is treating the gambling bill like all the others and will go over it with her team and make a decision on whether to sign it into law. A special drive-in tour route through the Union Slough National Wildlife Refuge in northern Iowa will open this Saturday and end at sundown on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 12th. Ed Mundieri, the refuge manager, says the tour route will open from sunrise to sunset.
Recommend people bring a pair of binoculars or maybe a bird book. We have had a couple of sandhill cranes on the refuge here for about 2 weeks. A little bit unusual. Haven't confirmed that they're nesting, but we hope that they will on the refuge at some point in time.
Mundieri says water levels are pretty high at the refuge due to the wet weather this spring and past winter. That means animal life rather than vegetation is the main draw.
We've been doing some prescribed burning. There's some areas that are starting to green up from that. Not a lot of other stuff coming up at this time, but people should see deer, pheasants, ducks, geese, trumpeter swans along the tour route.
The drive-in tour round is only open a couple of weeks each year. It starts at the refuge headquarters and takes visitors by wetlands, open water, and prairie habitat. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD Weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies this afternoon with highs around 54. Winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tonight. Chance for scattered rain showers. Lows level off around 44. Mainly clear skies and quiet. Tomorrow, chance for scattered rain showers. High temperatures reach up to 62. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 49.
Iowa hog farmers have a lot to be proud of.
Proud of the quality products we put on tables around the world.
Proud of the strides we make to protect Iowa's natural resources.
Proud of the number of Iowans we're able to employ in safe workplaces.
Proud to protect and promote animal well-being in everything we do.
Iowa pork producers are proud because they do it right. And that's something all Iowans can take pride in.
Sponsored by Iowa's pork producers and their pork checkoff.
Iowa's pork producers work hard daily to produce safe, affordable food. Through the industry's We Care initiative, hog farmers are firmly committed to doing things right. That means keeping their pigs safe and healthy, safeguarding natural resources, protecting public health, and building strong communities. Producers fully understand the importance of pork quality, responsible production, and continuous improvement. It's the moral and ethical thing to do. Sponsored by Iowa's pork producers and their pork checkoff.
I'm Jamie Brundage, owner of Historic Bruce Funeral Home. We're a full-service funeral home with an off-site crematory. At Bruce's, we specialize in pre-arrangements and family support before, during, and after the service. We also offer beautiful memorial items to help you remember your loved one forever. Bruce Funeral Home is proud to be by your side every step of the way throughout the funeral process. Historic Bruce Funeral Home, Fort Dodge.
If you're drowning in IRS tax debt, please get ready to take down this number to take advantage of the new IRS tax forgiveness programs. The IRS has recently hired private debt collection agencies to start collecting your outstanding taxes.
Prior to calling Superior Tax Relief, I owe the IRS $33,000, and my wages had just been garnished. Superior Tax Relief put a stop to the garnishment and was able to resolve my tax problem. I walked away owing close to nothing. I would highly recommend Superior Tax Relief. They saved my life.
We can protect you from the added fees and negotiate your tax liability. Superior Tax Relief can set you free from your tax issues. Call Superior Tax Relief to find out how you can qualify for the Fresh Start program that's now available. Don't hesitate. Call today. Call 800-711-5099. The consultation is free. The information is free. This call could save you thousands. Call 800-711-5099. 800-711-5099. That's 800-711-5099.
Michael Devine, the Doctor of Truth.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to confess?
At AM 1400 KVFD.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
That's right. If you can't handle the truth, stay away from this program, because that's all we do here. Truth all the time. Fortunately, I have truth tellers with me this hour. By the way, this hour is brought to us by the Webster County Pork Producers. But we have Dean Coleman here with the Soybean Association. But, you know, Dean's close enough. He tells the truth all the time. How you doing there, Dean?
Doing real well.
All right. Tell the truth. You get all your soybeans in or not?
I haven't got the soybeans yet. We
got the corn in, or?
We're about half done with corn.
Half done with corn.
So about another 3.5, 4 days we'll be done with corn, and then on to beans.
Okay. Is the ground going to cooperate or not?
Well, I don't know. I was out kind of digging up some of the first corn we planted on the 20th, and it's got about 1/4 of an inch sprout, but it's awfully muddy out there.
I was going to say.
And with, days like today, why, it's just not drying. So
it's not dry, and it's cold out. It was cold yesterday. It was only got in the 40s. I think it's only 49 right now.
Yeah. And in order for, the plants to grow, they need growing degree or heat units, and that's figured anything above 50 degrees would be a heat unit. So if it was 60 degrees out, then you'd have 10 degree growing days that day. Well,
10-degree growing days.
Yeah. So
what does that mean? 10.
Well, they figure to physically mature the plant, it takes so many growing degree units, and so. Days like this, there is no growth.
No growing degree. Yeah.
So the plant's just sitting there, the seed's sitting there in the ground, and it's not really doing anything. We need those 70 and 80 degree days to to get that seed out of the ground and get that plant going. And unfortunately,
we haven't got it going yet, do we?
Yeah, we had a couple of nice days. Everybody thought maybe spring was here and summer was going to be right behind it.
This is like the monsoon overseas. Only it's warmer overseas.
Yeah.
But it's always a little cloudy, always a little rainy, it's always a little wet.
Yeah. So then, the farmers are trying to get as much done as they can. Of course, then if you have a breakdown, you lose that one good day or 2 good days. Why that puts you in a bad mood. And unfortunately, everybody needed nitrogen about the same time this year, starting from, the southern border in Iowa up to this area. And so my son hauls anhydrous before we go to the field, and he was out for about 10 days hauling that. And at the beginning, it wasn't so bad. He could get loaded at the pipeline fairly quickly, but towards the end, there was at least a 2-hour wait. And
whoa!
And of course, you got the guys on the other end. They're sitting there with empty tanks, waiting for that load to come in. And after you are on the road for 10 days and not getting regular sleep, why everybody gets a little cranky. So he was glad that we were about ready to go to the field so he could come home and get a little rest. But so now he's hauling 32% out of the Coke plant out here east of town up into Minnesota, where they're just finally starting to get in the field.
Oh, he's a truck driver.
Well, in the off season he does.
Right.
So he generates some income there for the family.
Sure.
And that. So, but
he's got to pay you, I suppose, out of the farm income, doesn't he? Is he getting his money's worth there, Dean? Just in case he's listening,
yeah.
I thought I'd throw that out there.
I'm left at home to kind of get things put together for the next
Are
run.
you?
So,
all right.
yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering if the boy was getting his money's worth.
He called me just before I came on the air and wanted to know what I was getting done at home today. And I said, well, I was going on the air with you. And he said, well, that's good. So,
well, I'm glad is he out driving somewhere?
Yeah, he's on his way home now, I think. But he hauls kind of wherever they send him. So mainly Iowa and Minnesota.
Sure.
So, but anyway,
So how does it look out in the field? I mean, we've been talking a little bit in general about how it's just muddy.
Yeah, it's muddy. I mean, it got most farmers were able to get going in this area, but you don't have to go very much farther north or west or east even. And those guys just really haven't accomplished much of anything. I've got a buddy up at Sibley, and he has yet to get in the field. It's just been, they got all that snow here couple of times, and they just haven't been able to get going at all up there, and same with southern Minnesota. So we're in a pretty decent spot right here, evidently, compared to other guys. I mean, you get southeast Iowa, and they've been getting rain, probably larger amount than what we've been getting, but
we had snow up around Dubuque here.
Yeah. So
I talked with a farmer from the Corn Growers Association on Tuesday, and he lives down by Logan, Iowa, a little bit south and east of Omaha. And of course, that's hill country down there. And as long as he was on the hills, he was doing real fine. But they didn't seem to have despite the flooding in that area, he didn't seem to have the problem that particular day, or even they didn't seem to have the problem down there that we have up here farther north and west. For some reason up there around the Pocahontas area and west of there, they get it pretty good for some reason. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, one thing we've noticed out in the fields is our drainage tiles. It seems like there's a lot more breaks in those this year, and I don't know if it's because there was so much water in them last fall that they froze and cracked, and then once they do that, well, then they start to suck dirt down into them. So you have these holes out in the middle of the field, and you have to repair those before you plug the tiles. So we spent some time replacing and fixing tile washouts, and talked to several other neighbors, and it seems like they're kind of suffering with the same thing. So it must be kind of widespread. But
thought since they got rid of clay tiles, that wasn't going to be a problem anymore.
Yeah, well, and these that we're replacing are clay tile.
Oh, they're the older ones.
So yeah, I mean, there's tile on my farm from 1917, 1920 area, and a lot of those tile were dug in by hand, and so they didn't go real deep, and so you know, if you get down fairly shallow and it's muddy in the fall, why you can crush them with this larger equipment that we run today, and then, you know, once you get a crack in one, why it just seems like then it moves on down the line, and so you end up replacing 3 or 4 tile. But you know, we just you know, those were put in, and now we're replacing them with plastic, and that seems to work a lot better. You don't have that
plastic's
problem.
quite a bit deeper. I mean, the equipment's different.
And I know I did some tile work here for a neighbor 4 or 5 years ago. And
you do tile work?
We have our own tile plow.
Oh, you do?
Install
Okay.
our own stuff. But so I was over helping him out, and the tile was about 4 feet deep, and we were going up this little bit of a slope, and all of a sudden it came up to about 18 inches under the ground and went quite a ways, and then it went back to 4 feet as it went into the side hill. And the only thing we could determine is that those guys were getting paid by the foot, and the foreman must have went to town, and they brought it up to about 18 inches, which was a little over a spade deep, and away they went. but the problem was he was tearing it up with his tillage equipment. He was cutting through it every 30 inches, and so I went over and installed a new piece of tile for him, 400 or 500 feet long, and
well, that very well could have been the deal.
So yeah, but. You know, they talked about there was a couple of brothers up by Hardy that did that, and they didn't have to step on the spade. They could just push that spade in the ground by hand. I mean, you wouldn't want to run into them.
No,
get on the wrong side of them. But so, and then the other thing we're fighting out there now is the frost boils. It's kind of like the potholes here in town.
Yeah.
This year was horrible for frost boils. There's a lot of gravel roads that are almost impassable they get soft underneath, and you drive over them and it just squishes the mud up from underneath, and then you're driving on a mud road again. So hopefully they're getting solided up, and we'll have good gravel roads again here. But
yeah, we've been talking about the gravel here in Webster County. You know, we got plenty of roads here in Webster County, and there's some of them are, as you say, pretty tough. We've had a couple of tough winters. That's all there is to it. And all of this precipitation and rain hasn't helped anything. Ask the people in Davenport about that. They're not too happy down there today, I bet. But that's the price they pay for having a river view. They won't build a wall. They'll just build those levees. So every now and then it's going to happen in Davenport. But this is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice for Dodge. Our guest is Dean Coleman. And this part of the program brought to you by the Webster County Pork Producers, even though that Dean is with the Soybean Association. I have to ask you about the trade situation. Steve Peterson with the Farm Bureau was in here yesterday. Has there been any change in the last 24 hours that you know of? Or?
Well, I keep reading that we're getting close, and I'd like to get it.
I've been hearing that for a while now.
Yeah, we kind of heard that early on in the winter, and that it was going to be, done fairly quickly. But it sounds like both sides now are saying that we're getting close to having a resolution to it. So I can't wait for that day.
Well, I couldn't believe that the USMCA deal just came apart, and somebody's behind that. Somebody doesn't want it to happen, and I don't know who, and I haven't been able to find out from anybody else why this hasn't come together.
Yeah, and what I heard the last time I was in Washington, D.C., which was in March, was that the Democrats were concerned about the labor laws in Mexico, and was their pushback on it. But I'd hate to think that we're going to give away, this kind of trade with our, two closest neighbors over something like that. But
now the Democrats are concerned about labor laws in Mexico. Bill Clinton got NAFTA going, and all the car companies went south of the border. And now the Democrats are concerned about labor laws in Mexico. That's a little late.
Well, I think it's one of those things. It seems like nobody wants the other side to have a win. So
I think there's something to that they don't want to see Trump do well. And the Democrats, I'll tell you, I watched some of those hearings today with the Attorney General. Democrats were nasty and petty. And I mean, it's just like a bunch of kids. And I'm sitting here thinking, we got work to do in this country. We got work to do. Let's get this nonsense out of the way and get something done with these trade deals and get to work, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's it's important to a large segment of the U.S. I mean, it's not just ag; it's car companies.
Oh,
iron,
absolutely.
steel. Everybody is involved in that trade deal. So,
yeah, it's like they don't want the economy to be good, so they can be in office again or have the power again or something. And God, that's boring. If you're really thinking about the country, let's get it done. Let's get it done. So that was when you say not much is going on. Is that both with the USMCA and the China deal?
yeah, well, it's USMCA. I think has all been negotiated. They're just waiting for passage through Congress, and that's where the holdup is now. And China, they're still trying to get the last couple of things resolved, and then sound like we're going to get that signed. So. And they've started.
What's the hang up with China?
Well, I think it basically comes down to properties. That's what I keep hearing anyway.
So China wants to keep stealing it or what?
Basically, yeah.
No, we want to keep stealing.
So, yeah. And it sounds like we're starting to do a little early work on getting something done with Japan. So they've been a good soybean customer in the past. And
Japanese have?
Yeah. So
do they feed that to fish over there?
No, mainly the beans that go into Japan are food grade. So they're eating a bean that's made for tofu, which has clear hilum, which is the little where the sprout comes out of the soybean. And so most soybeans have a dark hilum, which looks like a little eyeball on the side of the bean. And so we grow a clear hilum bean that is made specially for food grade, and it's got a less beany taste or whatever. And so and most of those are non-GMO. And so, I mean, it's kind of a niche market for farmers that, want to go through the work. I normally get $1 or a little more premium for growing a food grade soybean. So,
do you do that or not?
I don't grow any myself. No.
Yeah. Japanese used to be pretty good. They, I mentioned before that one of my brother-in-laws used to raise Berkshire hogs, and the Japanese just loved that. He'd get a premium price.
Yep.
Sending them to Japan. I don't know what happened to that. I used to like the Berk myself.
Yeah, I think they still got. Was it Neiman Ranch or something like that? I think is the kind of the Berkshire hog thing, and they've kind of taken that over.
Neiman Ranch, where's that at?
Well, I think that's just a brand name.
But
I think they evidently have growers that grow specifically for them, and so you'll see on a restaurant menu once in a while, Neiman Ranch pork.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, it's got a better taste as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
yeah, and those pigs normally have a little bit more back fat to them and a little more, fat content in the meat, which gives it more flavor. I mean, it's like a good ribeye has got marbling in it, and we bred these hogs to kind of bred all of that, bred them real lean. Well, then that takes away some of the flavor, and so I think that's the selling point of the Berkshire hog is they've got a little bit more back fat and a little bit more taste. So
I liked it. I liked it definitely. Dean Coleman's our guest. We'll be back.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
Listen to this.
Making radio great again.
Okay, the news is next. Obituary is coming up and more Dean Coleman. That's next at AM 1400 KVFD.
Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services.
Oh, why not just cremate me when I'm gone?
Sounds simple, doesn't it? However, there are many options to consider when cremation is chosen. From simple to detailed, we at Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you create a unique commemoration.
Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services.
When severe weather threatens, keep it here for the Severe Weather Advisor. Brought to you by Creative Signs and Graphics Fort Dodge. For signs, decals, vehicle graphics, magnets, logos, customized documents, and more. If your business needs it, Creative Signs and Graphics can make it. And a stitch above the rest embroidery, Fort Dodge. Step out in style with quality brands, timely turnaround, and professional service. A stitch above the rest. Embroidery professionals worth finding. Remember, when severe weather threatens, stay with your friends on KVFD.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. In a special election on Tuesday, the city of Lehigh elected former Mayor Paula Martin to the position of mayor in the Webster County town. Martin earned the most votes with 24 in an election with only write-in candidates. Former Mayor Phil Richardson resigned on January 1st, and Martin will serve the remainder of the term that expires in 2021. May is Mental Health Month, and one Fort Dodge man is spreading awareness of mental health in Webster County. Randy Hoover works for Freedom Point in Fort Dodge, a community support program that focuses on mental health issues. Hoover says that mental health awareness is extremely important in Webster County.
We have a lot of services, but we have way more people than we have services. And we do peer support services, which means we're right there in the front. We see these people as their lives are kind of falling apart. And we can help direct them to like Berry Hill Community Health, other therapists in town to get the help they need.
Freedom Point is passing out Mental Health Month ribbons all May. You can find them at LifeWorks at 13018 8th Street in Fort Dodge. Ribbons can also be found at the Berry Hill Center and Community Health in Fort Dodge. Governor Kim Reynolds hasn't given any indication on what she will do with several high-profile bills that passed the recent legislative session. She does say there's been a lot of input on whether to sign or veto the sports gambling bill.
I'm hearing on both sides. I've had a lot of people reach out.
The bill approved by lawmakers would let the state's casinos take bets on professional and college sports either at the casinos or elsewhere via smartphone app. Reynolds says many people don't want to see or sign the bill into law.
They're concerned about, addiction to gambling and that the impact that this may have.
Others say the state needs to take control.
I've had a lot of other people that have indicated it is happening, it is going to continue to happen, and they think it's very important that we have some kind of oversight.
Reynolds says both sides have made their feelings known.
It's pretty equal right now, but I'm hearing a lot from both.
The governor says she is treating the gambling bill like all the others and will go over it with her team and make a decision on whether to sign it into law. A special drive-in tour route through the Union Slough National Wildlife Refuge in northern Iowa will open this Saturday and end at sundown on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 12th. Ed Meanderian, the refuge manager, says the tour route will open from sunrise to sunset.
Recommend people bring a pair of binoculars or maybe a bird book. We have had a couple of sandhill cranes on the refuge here for about 2 weeks. A little bit unusual. Haven't confirmed that they're nesting, but we hope that they will on the refuge at some point in time.
Meanderian says water levels are pretty high at the refuge due to the wet weather this spring and past winter. That means animal life rather than vegetation is the main draw.
We've been doing some prescribed burning. There's some areas that are starting to green up from that. Not a lot of other stuff coming up at this time, but people should see deer, pheasants, ducks, geese, trumpeter swans along the tour route.
The drive-in tour route is only open a couple of weeks each year. It starts at the refuge headquarters and takes visitors by wetlands, open water, and prairie habitat. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
Here's a look at how the markets closed today. May corn up 6 3/4 at $3.60. July up 6 at $3.68 1/2. September up 5 3/4 at $3.76 1/4. December up 5 1/4 at $3.86 1/4. May soybeans down 1 3/4 at $8.39 1/2. July down 2 1/4 at $8.51 3/4. August down 2 at $8.58. November down 1 3/4 at $8.73. May wheat closed up 6 1/2 at $4.25. Soybean meal unchanged at $2.96. June live cattle down 37 cents at $113.87. August down 80 at $110.97. May feeder cattle down 22 at $141.37. August up 7 at $149.22. May lean hogs closed up 280 at $87.10. June limit up to close at $91.22. I am Dwayne Murley.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies this afternoon with highs around 54. Winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tonight. Chance for scattered rain showers. Lows level off around 44. Mainly clear skies and quiet. Tomorrow, chance for scattered rain showers. High temperatures reach up to 62. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 49.
Many fruits and vegetables are coming into season. I'm Julie Harker with Healthy Living on Brownfield. Seasonal produce is now on the shelves of grocery stores and farmers markets. Julie Garden Robinson with the North Dakota State University Extension says you can tell when fruits and vegetables are in season.
That is when it's at its best quality and best price. So make use of those seasonal items that you will see in your grocery store flyer.
Asparagus and strawberries are examples of springtime produce that's available now. She has advice for how to prepare them.
Look for asparagus that's of the characteristic color, green and maybe purplish. The tip should be compact. To prepare it, simply rinse it under running water, trim the ends. Roasting, you just preheat the oven to 425, prepare it as directed, and then put it in an oven-safe pan, drizzle with your cooking oil that you like and some seasonings, and bake it until it's tender.
Robinson has some tips for storing strawberries.
Don't wash it first. You want to just put it in your refrigerator in the crisper drawer, and when you're ready to use it, that's when you rinse it. If you soak strawberries, they are going to absorb the water, and they won't be as tasty as what you might expect.
Avocado, broccoli,